It's time for Reason.
They have really abused their power, saying, well, we're not going to tell you exactly how much money. They used to. This is how much money we need to see for it to be, quote-unquote, suitable, and that way you're constitutionally compliant. Nowadays, they say, yeah, you know what? We made a mistake back then. We're not allowed to tell you exactly how much because you do have the power of the purse, but only to some degree because we still get to tell you whether it's constitutional or not. So I can't tell you how much, but you need more money.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Then I get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again.
Welcome in! Oh, man, here it is. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. Yeah, this is going to be fun here. This is going to be fun.
I'm Rick Everett in on the Voice of Reason along with Andy Hoosier. The one
I'm
show
here.
I said along with the one show the guy looks forward to all year, his not only Christmas show, but a Christmas show on a free-for-all Friday. It's going to be 7 years before you'll have this opportunity again.
Exactly.
But Andy's voice just hanging by a thread. And I got to give the guy kudos because he is not going to lay down and die over this thing. He's going to just keep right on trucking.
See, this is the communists trying to sabotage my show last minute here. This is ridiculous. I've never had this before.
An 11th hour ploy by the pinko flaming left.
That's what it is. Hey, guess what? It's a Friday. It's a free-for-all Friday. Let's make it happen. It's a Christmas special. Whatever's on your mind, troubling you, bothering you, it's time for you to call in. Talk about your holiday special. Let's make it a great special free-for-all Friday. What do you say? Let's do it. It sounds like I'm on life support right now.
Now, you don't sound as bad as you think you do. When our ears are so acutely attuned to what's going through the headphones, everything magnifies on the negative side because we don't feel like we're sounding quite where we need to be.
Well, sometimes.
I want to say good morning to everybody listening, not only here in the Air Capital, but our friends out in western Kansas. My word, what a difference a day makes. This time yesterday morning, we were talking about 46 degrees here in Wichita. Right now, we're down around, 24, something along those lines?
26 degrees here in the Wichita area right now.
And it hit western Kansas earlier yesterday. They had their Arctic Express come through earlier than we did. In fact, northwest Kansas was dealing with a little bit of slip sliding away with some icy conditions on I-70 in the western part of the state. But the forecasters are all saying nothing more than the need to perhaps exercise some caution, as we should always do as we travel allegedly for the holiday weekend. We're not going to get any big hit of snow. They're saying possibly, allegedly, I-70 and north may get a little bit of snow here in the south central part of the state, southwestern Kansas too, from what I've heard. Maybe a dusting at best. So anyway.
Not going to be bad. Here's how the show's going to go today. It's going to be great because, as it is the special holiday tradition, I want to hear from you, 316-721-8255.
What is that number again?
316-721-TALK. Shoot me a message all over Facebook, on social media, on the Voice of Reason page, KQAM page, the Twitter, at Hoosier Reason, the Facebook Live feed that is up. People already tuning into that. We appreciate that very much. So I want to hear from you on your holiday traditions, on your holiday recipes, on just saying Merry Christmas because we get the opportunity to do so. But this is the show where we get to play all the fun. We don't talk about politics for the most part. We get to play all the fun holiday bits, the skits, the audio clips, the satire songs. This is where we get to just lay back and have a little fun for the pre-Christmas Friday celebration.
Now I've got to ask you a question. We can go back to 2011? And you and I were doing the morning show in Garden City?
That's right, 2011.
Okay, so a question for you is, do you ever get calls here in Wichita from the Garden City audience?
I haven't yet.
Really?
I want to hear from them, but I have not yet. I have not yet. Now, I have heard that people in the area, both in Guyman, Oklahoma, and the surrounding area there, and in Garden City, that they have made comments to the local station that they enjoy the show being back, but I have not heard personally on the air from those areas. So please call in because I do want to hear from. I remember when we were back there and we were talking about recipes during the holidays, and I was talking about a certain drink, and I had seen the recipe for Ron Pompei. And I never knew what Ron Pompei was. And
I'm vaguely recalling this.
Vaguely. Well, yeah. And the local store brought me Ron Pompei with the rum in the eggnog, and they brought me a bottle of that for Christmas. I remember that.
I do remember that.
Yes, and it was a fantastic time.
It was fabulous.
It was fantastic for what I remember of it. It was a great time.
Oh my gosh, we're establishing some history here.
That's right.
We better be careful. I mean, we could be the next Andy and Rick.
Oh my gosh! Holy cow! I mean, we'll start talking about like birthdays of to Bjorn Borg.
Oh, speaking of radio legend, okay,
Yes.
that was a stretch of a segue. But speaking of radio legend, Charles Osgood with the Osgood Files made the announcement yesterday that after the end of the year, he is stepping down.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. The bow tie man himself. And, of course, he's CBS Sunday mornings, or was for quite a while. I don't believe he is any longer. But, the Osgood Files. The Osgood Files. I'm Charles Osgood. I grew up with Charles Osgood. He's been doing, you know how long he's been doing this gig? Over 50 years.
I was going to say, it's been a long time.
And I believe he's in his 80s.
Yep.
So, but want to bid him a successful retirement at 83, 84, I think, in that neighborhood. But yeah, Charles Osgood stepping down after the end of this year.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. All right. Are you ready for the first audio bit?
The first audio bit, well, yes, and this was radio too.
This was radio too. This was a caller. I don't know the station. This is a legit call.
It sounds like it's up north somewhere because there is a little bit of the northern,
a little bit of an accent there.
Yeah.
From a radio station, a legit call. This really went on the air. The host did not know how to respond to this. I played this last year, but a caller calling in concerned about deer crossing signs on the highway.
Well, why would they do that to those poor deer?
Why would they do that to the poor deer? This is what they had to say.
Now, Donna, you got quite the vent today. It sounds like what's going on with you.
Well, I wanted to voice my opinion on something that's been bothering me for a really long time.
Okay.
I tried writing the newspaper and contacting TV stations, but nobody seems to want to help me with this. So that's why I'm calling you guys.
What's the issue?
Well, over the past few years, I've been involved in 3 separate car accidents involving deer.
Mm-hmm.
With the population and everything. Each of these incidents, they've occurred shortly after I saw a deer crossing sign on the highway. Well, my frustration is that Minnesota and North Dakota Departments of Transportation would allow these deer crossings to be in such high traffic areas. I mean, I've even seen them on the interstate. Why are we encouraging deer to cross at the interstate? I don't get it. That's such a high traffic area. I mean, I understand that deer are wild animals and they need to travel across the streets occasionally to survive. And of course, to find food. But it seems to me that so irresponsible of us to allow these deer crossings to be in areas where these deer are so likely to be struck by oncoming traffic. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Crickets.
How do you respond to that?
I mean, you think they would put deer crossings maybe, in smaller towns, maybe during at a school crossing. It would be a safer place for them to cross. Put the deer crossing sign.
Deer crossings aren't telling deer that it's safe to cross there. It's just more of like an alert for drivers so they know it's like a high deer population.
The government put the deer crossings there. They can direct the deer population anywhere they want to by moving that deer crossing sign. I mean, why in the world would they place it on the highway or the interstate? I mean, God, there are so many other places I can think of than putting the deer crossing signs on busy highways and interstates.
You seem to be under the misunderstanding that the deer are somehow attracted to the deer crossing sign.
Well, yeah, the deer crossing sign is there to allow the deer to know that's where they need to cross.
Right. And all these car accidents you had involved a deer after you'd saw a deer crossing sign.
Exactly. I mean, I'm trying to watch out for the deer, but I mean, speed limit's 55, 65. How am I supposed to, you can't brake really quick if if the deer just is crossing in that deer crossing area.
So you'd like to see these signs move somewhere safer?
Right. If we can move them, like, don't put deer crossing signs on the interstate or freeways. Put them in lower traffic areas. Somewhere where the speed limit's a lot slower.
Uh-huh.
Maybe small towns. I don't know. I think school crossings is a good idea.
Well, listen, we will. You say you've tried to contact quite a few people about this.
Right, yeah. I wrote like at least 3 or 4 letters, and
we will spread the word, okay? We will try to kind of help you raise some awareness for this issue, okay?
Oh, thank you. We need to move those deer crossing signs.
We appreciate your comment this morning.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
There you go. All right, there you go. We need to be aware of those deer crossing signs for sure.
Was that a Hillary supporter?
Probably a Hillary supporter. Probably a Hillary supporter.
I am so sorry. I shouldn't have done that because you said we're not going to do political today.
Are you kidding? This is the voice of reason. There you go. You can't tell me that. That was a Hillary supporter. No, probably even more so a Bernie Sanders supporter. Hey, guys, it's great. We need free college and the deer crossing signs in different places. We'll take a break here. We'll get your thoughts and calls. Merry Christmas to you. I want to hear from you. 316-721-8255. 316-721-TALK. This is the voice of reason on the Mid-America Network. Stay here.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason on the Mid-America Network.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Welcome back into the Voice of Reason right here on the Mid-America Network. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. On a Friday, it's the pre-Christmas holiday. Let's celebrate, baby. Hopefully you get the day off. You get to enjoy. You get to celebrate just a little bit. Christmas coming up on Monday. I cannot believe the end of the year is here already. 316-721-8255. 316-721-TALK. Our special holiday Christmas episode of The Voice of Reason. This is really the one that I look forward to every single year. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. We get to stay away from I take that back. We try to stay away from the politics just a little bit, but yet it somehow gets interjected in there in some way, shape, or form. 721-8255, 316-721-TALK. As we play some of the audio clips that we love to, here's one that I've had for a really long time, and it's extremely insensitive, and I don't really care. Is that okay to say?
It doesn't even sound like you.
It doesn't sound like me at all in any way, shape, or form. I just don't care that it's insensitive.
Well, are you going to give us a setup for it?
All right,
you got to do more than it's insensitive and I don't care.
Well, okay,
that's bah humbug.
Now that in society today we have many mental illnesses.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes
we
have individuals that just can't quite get their minds around reality sometimes.
Allegedly.
We have to be able to laugh at that sometimes.
Well, yeah.
Not them personally, but we just have to make light of the situation at times.
Well, you can't take everything so seriously.
Exactly. And if you think you may have a mental illness, you may want to call this mental health hotline. See? Here, if you call it, let's go ahead and dial up the mental health hotline here and see what they have to say and see what we can, there we go. All right. And the mental health hotline.
Welcome to the mental health hotline. If you are obsessive compulsive, press 1 repeatedly. If you are codependent, ask someone to press 2 for you. If you have multiple personalities, press 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you are paranoid, we know what you are and what you want. Stay on the line and we'll trace your call. If you're delusional, press 7 and your call will be transferred to the mothership. If you are schizophrenic, listen carefully and a small voice will tell you which number to press. If you're depressive, it doesn't matter which number you press, no one will answer you. If you're dyslexic, press 69696969. If you have a nervous disorder, please fidget with the hash key until the beep. After the beep, please wait for the beep. If you have a short-term memory loss, please try your call again later. And if you have low self-esteem, hang up. All our operators are too busy to talk to you.
There we go. I think it helped me. I feel better about myself now. There you
Okay.
go. There you go. The mental health hotline. That audio clip I've had for years. Actually, I collected that one from Mike Rosen when I interned for him over at 850 KOA. He's the one that played that all the time during his holidays. And one of the more popular ones, I've always asked to repeat that one over and over again.
It's good.
There you go. Here's the other one for you. As we talk about politics and we talk about the way politics are and politicians, what's always the term that we use for politicians?
Many terms.
Many terms.
There's many
All right.
terms.
Well, they're coming out with their own line of cologne.
Oh, really?
Yes. Here you go. This is an old Bob and Tom bit that I think you may enjoy with the politician's cologne.
Introducing Evasive, the cologne.
Is it a cologne for men?
Oh, yes, but not ordinary men.
Evasive.
Evasive. It's the cologne for congressmen.
What's it smell like?
It's a tantalizing aroma that tickles the senses.
Evasive.
Okay, but what's it smell like?
It's a blend of scents that brings out the man.
What's it smell like?
Evasive.
Evasive. It's a delicate taste of odors derived from the delicious mixture of fine fragrances.
All right, come on. What's it smell like? Is it a musk? Is it an aftershave?
Evasive.
Let me answer your question with another question. And that is, what's best for the American people?
What does that have to do with how it smells?
What is the definition of the word smell, anyway?
So you're not going to tell me what it smells like?
You keep asking me what it smells like. Well, I'm trying to answer you, but you won't let me.
My God, you still haven't answered me.
Evasive. The cologne for congressmen.
Evasive, the cologne for congressmen, bottled in Washington, D.C.
Evasive.
When you want answers,
we've got questions.
There you go. The evasive cologne. I have some of that at home there. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And what's it smell like?
It's well. Let me answer that with asking you. What do you want it to smell like?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. 316-721-8255. We got a lot of these different clips that we've collected. It's a lot of fun. Also, I do have some Christmas stories that we need to talk about today that are kind of fun.
Awesome.
But there was a question, and we'll talk about this when we come back a little bit after the bottom of the hour here. But there was a question that was posed to me yesterday that I want to continue on with the conversation on.
Wait, is this my cue to get into the news studio real quick?
Or you can comment on this as well. That's right. Okay. Santa Claus, is it bad to teach your children about Santa Claus as opposed to the quote-unquote true meaning of Christmas?
Well, I mean, it depends, Andy. I heard you got called out.
I got called out a little bit because we do teach the traditional real what Christmas is actually all about, but we also have fun with Santa Claus. And my credibility apparently is questionable now with my 3-year-old daughter because I have taught my daughter about Santa Claus.
Now, okay, this person hit you up on Facebook, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
they said that your credibility as a parent,
yes,
and everything else is now in question because you are enjoying the Santa Claus aspect.
And it's an interesting conversation because a lot of people today are moving towards we don't want to quote unquote lie to our children about these types of things. So to be straightforward with them, teach them about the real meaning of Christmas, and Santa Claus shouldn't be involved in this because we're lying to them. We'll continue that conversation if you want to chime in on that. 316-721-8255. When we come back, this is The Voice of Reason on the Mid-America Network. Happy Friday. Happy Free for All Friday. And oh, by the way, Merry Christmas to you. This is The Voice of Reason.
Told me ba-ra-ba-ba-ba, a newborn king to see ba-ra-ba-ba-ba. Our finest gifts we bring ba-ra-ba-ba-ba.
When taxes go up, so do our tempers.
Oh my God, no!
Fighting for Kansans every day. This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Welcome back into the Voice of Reason right here on the Mid-America Network. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. It's a Friday. It's a pre-Christmas Friday. Welcome into it. 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. I want to hear from you today as you're starting your holiday. Maybe you're traveling. Maybe you're just staying home today. Maybe you have to go in just for a short time just to start off your week, get there, start off your day, get things done, get home, and just enjoy a little bit. We'd love to hear from you today. Lots to get to, a lot of audio bits. Also, I have some fun little Christmas stories. There's an article that we'll probably talk about, a little bit later in the show about is Christmas, and this is the most ridiculous topic I've ever seen, or the title, is Christmas a religious holiday? Obviously it is. Some believe it may not be. For whatever reason, I just don't get it. As a percentage, they did a poll on American adults, and more people believing that it is still a traditional holiday to celebrate, but don't necessarily do it from the religious aspect. We need to remember, regardless of whether we put the tree up, whether we celebrate Santa Claus, whether we tell the kids to look forward to Santa Claus and get excited, we have to still teach the meaning of Christmas, the original meaning of Christmas, and be able to actually remember what the purpose of the holiday was in the first place. Let's go right to the phones here, shall we? Good morning. What's your name?
Morning, brother. It's Joe.
Joe, what's going on, my friend?
It's another wonderful, beautiful, blessed day, man.
It's a great day for America.
Yes, it is. Amen to that. Hey, first off, Merry Christmas to you and your family, and thank you for everything you do on this radio station for the city of Wichita, the state of Kansas, and America itself. You are a great patriot for this country.
Well,
and a voice.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I hope you were recording that. You can use that.
I really
can call back later.
I really appreciate that, my friend. I mean, I'm so excited about what we're doing, not just with myself, but with the show, with the listeners, with the movement we have, with the impact we can have on the state. And we got lots more coming in the beginning of the year that I'm really excited about. So I really appreciate that because we're moving in the right direction, I think.
I keep telling you, brother, you're the next Rush Limbaugh. You just got to just pray and believe you're there, man. So
Joe,
anyway.
Joe. Listen, we need to keep him around here, okay?
No, he's not going anywhere. He can go. He can be national. He can be another Rush, but he's going to stay right here in Wichita.
That's
just going to be it.
That's right.
Yeah, he's not going to move to Rush's bunker or whatever he calls, his home or whatever his studio is. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's got to stay grounded right here in the middle of the United States.
I'd never go to the New York City. You kidding me? I have never wanted to go to New York City, nor would I ever really want to, unless just to visit. But to move out there and pay those ridiculous taxes, I couldn't go to the gas station and get a big gulp without having to pay $2 extra just in tax. No thanks.
Well, and then you can't carry a gun either. So that's another thing that's not the. Anyway, hey, back to your Christmas, is Santa Claus good, bad, ugly, whatever you want to call it?
Yes.
You know what? We still teach our kids about the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny and every little thing. You know what? Kids are kids, and they like, we give them books of Harry Potter. It's all fiction. It's all make-believe. But the idea is to grow their intellect and to make them dream outside of what's normal. It's not to say that Santa Claus is real or not real. It's what we perceive as what do we want to teach our kids. We still teach our kids, hey, the reason for the season is Jesus Christ, and that God gave His only begotten Son. He was born on this day. That's the reason for the season. But can we not have a little fun with it? Yes, we can. And
you bring up a good point. And don't we, when we try and teach a lesson, I always like to go back to the traditional Native Americans, how they used to tell a story to teach a lesson. And with St. Nicholas, with St. Nick, with Santa Claus, the idea of giving, the idea of thinking about somebody else, making something, buying something, making it a surprise, feeling really good about not just receiving something, but giving it, can't we use that as kind of the story to be able to teach a valuable lesson, not just, oh, hey, Santa Claus is going to give me a bunch of stuff, but the fact that someone is thinking about somebody else and he goes all over the world and thinks about everybody, rich or poor, black or white, whatever may be happening in your life, that they will show up and they will give you something because they're thinking about you. And to me, I see it as almost like that Native American story to teach you a lesson about giving and thinking about somebody else during this time of the year.
Amen. Opening your heart to someone else, regardless who that may be, but it's opening your heart and using the story as a vessel to show you to open your heart to give things to other people.
Exactly.
Amen. Well spoken.
There you go. Gentlemen, thank you. Have a great and blessed Christmas, and we'll talk to you next week.
Joe, we appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. We really appreciate that. 316-721-8255. 316-721-TALK. Do you believe Santa Claus is a good idea, bad idea when it comes to Christmas, or what are your Christmas traditions?
I want to expound a little bit on what Joe was saying, because I had one of those moments last night. So I was thinking back. I was thinking back to being a kid.
Sure.
Okay. And the whole thing with, are you betraying your children by participating with Santa Claus and things along those lines. I was at a light show that's in Riverside area, and it's put on by, and they have a little FM transmitter, and they have all these 150,000 lights, right?
Wow.
And it's put on by a family called the McKinney family. And anyway, I was sitting there, and one of the songs that came on was the Charlie Brown.
Yep, the little piano playing.
Yeah, the piano playing Christmas song.
Sure.
And I sat there, and I was watching those lights go on and display and everything, and I just let myself go for a minute. You know what I mean?
Just enjoy.
Yeah, and it
takes you back.
I hearkened back to when I was a kid. I mean, that was a big part of Christmas, was sitting down and watching the Charlie Brown Christmas special.
Absolutely.
Right? Well, that takes me back to another time when it was a Christmas Eve, and I was all excited. I was a little kid, and I was just all excited about Santa Claus coming. And my dad told me, Rick, Santa Claus isn't going to come unless you get in the bathtub, because it's bath time.
Sure.
You need to get in the bathtub and take your bath. And grudgingly, I went and I got in the bathtub, as a good little boy should do, and I took my bath. And then while I'm in the bathtub, I hear the doorbell ring. Right?
Okay.
And so I washed as quickly as I could.
You're ready to go.
I dried as quickly as I could, and I came outside, and there were footprints in the snow, little footprints of where the reindeer were.
There
were big presents under the tree and all that. And you know what? What kid afterwards is ever going to be upset with their parents? I mean, I don't look back on that at my parents as, oh my gosh, you betrayed me.
Did you ever leave the milk and cookies out for Santa Claus? Or
yes.
What did you leave? Or was it just the milk and cookies?
It
or
was
something
milk
else?
and cookies. It was milk and cookies.
See, if the kid really knew Santa Claus,
here we go.
They'd leave a taco and a beer.
A taco and a beer. Exactly.
Maybe I'm going to teach out. Santa Claus loves the milk and cookies, but everybody does that, and he's going to get some type of diabetes. So we really need to leave him like a taco and a beer.
I want to go to Joe's point again, though. When you think back of all the creativity that went into that and all the work that goes in to Santa
Claus
making his appearance and Santa doing the things that he does. Once a child is old enough to look back on that, maybe in his 30s or 40s or wherever that lands.
Yes.
And you think back, wow, that was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool.
It's what you remember all the time.
Your favorite Christmas present you ever got, Andy, as a little kid, as a little Andrew?
My .22 semi-automatic rifle. I got it when I was 8 years old. My grandpa gave it to me for Christmas.
Was it a Ruger?
No.
It was not.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I still have it actually at home, but I haven't shot it in a long time. But it was my grandpa gave it to me. It was what he had, and he gave it to me on Christmas Eve. My tradition was we always on Christmas Eve would go over to my grandma and grandpa's house, and my cousins and that whole side of the family would show up, and we'd have this major dinner, and then we would sit down and open gifts from grandma and grandpa, which they always gave the huge elaborate gifts and always had a great time. And then we would play with those all night until midnight, 1 o'clock, while the parents would play board games and card games and everything, and drink adult beverages and do their thing. And then we would go home at like 2 a.m. looking for Santa Claus in the sky, waiting to see if we could see him. But that was probably the most memorable to six out was the rifle that I got at 8 or 9 years old when my grandpa gave that to me for Christmas.
I think one of them that I remember the best was my grandparents. We went to my grandparents, and they gave me, now I'm a couple of years older than you.
Sure.
Okay. But they were battery operated toy soldiers, like 6 of them all in a row.
Okay.
And when you flipped the switch, they would march and actually move across the floor. And that was like a big deal back in the day.
Back in the day. It's funny you mentioned that. Do you remember watching the movie Small Soldiers?
Vaguely.
I just watched that like last week on
Really?
Netflix. Yeah. So it kind of reminds me of that, the small soldiers that are walking around and kind of doing their thing. Yeah. It's a great time.
Yep, good times.
It's a great
good
time.
times.
We got about 2 minutes left here. I do want to play one more audio clip for you as we wrap up before we got to take a break here. But back during the primaries, President Donald Trump, then candidate Donald Trump, and Bernie Sanders, I don't know if you knew this, had a debate against one another.
And?
Candidates, why did this chicken cross the road? Why did the chicken cross the road? Let's start with you, Mr. Trump.
Well, I want to say something very important, okay, Chuck? And I want to tell you this. Very important. Very, very important. I've been to this intersection. This is right on the border, okay? And I am telling you, that's an immigrant chicken. I'm telling you right now. And there are many Mexican chickens. I've been to Mexico. I've seen the chickens. We've got to find out if this is a rapist chicken or a murderer chicken. And I promise you this. We are going to build an incredible coop along the southern border. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you.
All right, points. Senator Sanders.
Look, Chris, I think it's important to understand that I was made aware of this story, and I immediately went down to have a listening tour, and I sat down with the chickens. And I heard their concerns, and I talked to relatives, family members of this particular chicken, and it turns out he crossed the road to draw attention to the crumbling infrastructure the chickens have to face every day of their lives.
There you go. Makes sense.
A middle-class chicken is not able to raise the same number of eggs that they were 40 years ago. Their coops are in disrepair, and if I am president, I promise that I will spend billions of dollars on chicken wire. They deserve better, just like human beings.
There it is. Now
Good
we know
stuff.
why
Good
the chicken
stuff.
officially crossed the road. This is the Voice of Reason on the Mid-American Network.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason on the Mid-America Network.
Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop.
Hey, welcome back into the Voice of Reason right here on the Mid-America Network. Appreciate you hanging out with us today on a Friday. It is the pre-Christmas celebration right here on the Voice of Reason. We're having a lot of fun. 316-721-8255. 316-721-TALK. At least my voice is getting a little more stable. I just had to work on it a little bit there. This portion of the Voice of Reason, as it always is, is not just a Friday. It's not just a Christmas Friday. It's not just a free-for-all Friday, but it's also a Fried Chicken Friday, brought to you by the Inman Harvest Cafe, 112 South Main Street in downtown Inman. It is their Fried Chicken Friday with the great chicken, with the fresh homemade breading, with the 2 buffets going on today for lunch and for supper. It's Katie's on the line with us here. Katie, how are you today?
Good morning, Andy. Happy Fried Chicken Christmas Friday.
Happy Fried Chicken Christmas Friday. I love it. This has got to be a huge celebration, kind of like the nice Thanksgiving celebration you guys had. Everybody's getting ready for a big, hearty meal. What do you guys have planned for us today?
So at lunchtime today, excuse me, traditionally we have on the Friday before Friday before Christmas, we have lasagna. So today we're having lasagna.
I love it. That's good stuff.
My
I mean, that's
birthday
perfect.
falls right around here.
I mean,
And
especially
so
being cold, it's a hearty thing for the cold weather.
I know. It's great, man. See, because lasagna is like my favorite ever, and my birthday was this week, and we always have lasagna on my birthday week, so that always ends up falling right before Christmas.
I love it.
We have Christmas lasagna. And then at lunchtime, we're also going to have a chicken pot pie because it is super cold outside, and that is like the best, warmest, most comforting food I can think of is chicken pot pie.
Absolutely. That's a way to do it there.
And then that's besides all the chicken and the vegetables and the mashed potatoes and the salads. Now, tonight at supper, if you come from 5 to 8, we will be having our Christmas ham dinner. So similar to the turkey dinner, only ham. We'll have sweet potatoes. We'll have cheesy cornflake potatoes. And then we'll also still have lasagna because it's still the Friday before Christmas, and we have to have lasagna. So.
You got to have lasagna. Absolutely. Now, we got to remind everybody that the buffet is from 11 to 1 for the lunchtime, and then from 5 to 8 o'clock for the dinner time. You get the buffet. You also get your free slice of pie, which you have to get before you actually get your food because it's going to be gone, and it's amazing. What do you have lined up for our pies today?
Today we have coconut and chocolate, and both of those have meringue on top. Then we've got pumpkin, custard, caramel apple, rhubarb, and cherry cream cheese.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so we've got lots of pie choices, and like you said, if you come in the front door, just go straight to the pie case and grab your slice because somebody might steal your perfect slice of pie, and then you'll be sad. Mm-hmm. We don't want sadness right before Christmas.
Not at all. Not at all. You got to enjoy it. You got to have some fun with it. And you got to be able to stay nice and warm and hearty. It's a wonderful dinner, and what better way to kick off the holiday weekend than with you guys there with the Inman Harvest Cafe. It's the Fried Chicken Friday, and of course, I mean, you mentioned the lasagna and you mentioned the Popeyes and everything, but of course, you have to have the fried chicken on Fried Chicken Friday.
Right, yes. So yeah, we're all prepped up for the fried chicken, and that's an every Friday thing. So you come down and get that great, crispy, juicy, wonderful fried chicken. And you know, it's kind of it's a crazy time of year. It really is. And so it's a great time to just get out of town and come slow down. We've got a nice little gift shop next door you can pick out if you got last minute gifts you need to buy, and I guarantee you're gonna find something in that store that you are not going to find in a bigger city. So
absolutely. It's the Inman Harvest Cafe. It's the buffet today, 11 to 1 for lunchtime. The big one, 5 to 8 o'clock tonight. Get your free slice of pie along with the fried chicken and all the other goodies there. 112 South Main Street in Inman, downtown Inman, 620-585-6925. Visit them online at the InmanHarvestCafe.com. Katie, you guys enjoy getting all ready. We'll touch base with you here in a couple hours again.
All right, thanks. We'll talk to you then.
Always a pleasure right there. That's Katie with the Inman Harvest Cafe. We love partnering up with them right here on the Voice of Reason and the Mid-America Network. Let's take a break. Everybody on the western part of the state and beyond, a Merry Christmas to you. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday live right here. For all of you here in the Wichita area, get ready. Hour number 2 right around the corner. Lots more fun stuff to get to for your Christmas holiday special on the Voice of Reason. This is your show. It's time to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. This is the Voice of Reason. Stay here.
It's time for Reason.
They have really abused their power, saying, well, we're not going to tell you exactly how much money. They used to. This is how much money we need to see for it to be, quote-unquote, suitable, and that way you're constitutionally compliant. Nowadays, they say, yeah, you know what? We made a mistake back then. We're not allowed to tell you exactly how much because you do have the power of the purse, but only to some degree because we still get to tell you whether it's constitutional or not. So I can't tell you how much, but you need more money.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again.
Welcome into the Voice of Reason right here on the Big Talker 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM. Bear with me here. It is a Friday. It's a free-for-all Friday. Oh, yeah, let's make it happen. What do you say? As usual, whatever's on your mind, troubling you, bothering you, I'm your political therapist. We are your holiday center right here on the Voice of Reason. Let's have a little fun today. What do you say? Come on. Let's do it. All right. 721-8255, 721-TALK. If you want to join into the program, I want to hear from you today. What's on your mind? It can be political or non-political, something that's just troubling you, bothering you. No guests today. No guests at all. Some people may be popping in and out of the studio, just say Merry Christmas, but that's about it. Here's how the show goes today. We have some stories that we want to talk about, non-political for the most part. Some of them are a little interesting. Some of them are a little political. But the rest of it, we have our fun skits that we like to air every single year. This is the show. Right before Christmas, we get to play the holiday skits, the bits, the songs, the stuff that we have collected over the last couple of years that we just get to have fun with, along with your thoughts and calls. Bear with me as I'm on the tail end of this cold, but for whatever reason, of course, the guy that's on the radio, it settles right into the throat. I've never lost my voice before, and this is the most ridiculous thing in the entire world. But it's getting stronger. It's getting a little more stable. But bear with me if it kind of just goes off a little bit and trails. 721-8255-721-TALK. Shoot me a message all over Facebook, Voice of Reason page, KQAM page on Twitter, at Hoosier Reason, the Facebook Live feed. A lot of people checking it out. Send a message. All I want to do is tell you Merry Christmas and that we love you. We appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate you tuning into the show. This show has grown so much. I am so honored. I am so humbled. I am so excited. We have so many cool things that are happening, and it's all because of you. The fact that the show is doing better than it's ever done before. The station is doing better than it's ever done before, and we can't do it without you. So thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. If you are heading out to go see family, just going on a cruise, just going on a travel, just going on a road trip, whatever, safe travels to you. We'll be back on Tuesday. I do want to remind you, by the way, that we have starting on Christmas Eve on Sunday at noon on the KQAM airwaves. We have our Christmas music, all of our classic music that's going to start on Christmas Eve at noon and play all through Christmas Day, 36 hours of nonstop Christmas music. We do that every single year. It's a really special time, and we love doing that, so appreciate you guys checking that out as well. It's perfect to turn on in the morning as you are as you're opening presents, as you may be having the Christmas dinner or lunchtime with all the family and the friends that are coming over. Just turn it on in the background. Have a great time. Enjoy. So there it is. KQAM rocking and rolling, getting ready for 2018. We get a lot of fun here. I do want to read a story that is, I don't know if you're aware of this. I've never heard this before, and I thought it was kind of cool. There is apparently a hidden message in the song The 12 Days of Christmas. I did not know this. I always enjoyed the song. I thought it rambled on a little too long sometimes, but there is a religious meaning behind the 12 Days of Christmas, and I did not know this. I wonder if you did. The 12 days of Christmas are the 12 days between Christmas Day, December 25th, the birth of Jesus, and the Epiphany. It's a very religious song, which I was not aware of. January 6th, the day of the arrival of the wise men, is celebrated. My true love is God the Father who gives us all gifts. And here's what each gift represents. Now, as we talk about this, keep in mind, we had a little bit of a discussion yesterday about whether Santa Claus should be involved in Christmas or not, whether we are lying to our children when we have a little fun with the holiday with Santa Claus, or whether we should teach nothing but the true meaning of Christmas, which we do. And we always talk about it, and we have to remember the true meaning of Christmas. I saw a stat that said that more and more Americans are celebrating Christmas, but they're not seeing it as a religious holiday, but more so as a traditional holiday. And that's the only reason why they celebrate Christmas, and that's okay with them. According to the latest polls, that's okay with their thoughts on why they celebrate Christmas, is that it's less and less religious, more and more traditional. So we need to remember the real reason of the holiday, but to keep that in mind as we read through this. The 12 days, the partridge in a pear tree, according to this, represents Jesus. The two turtle doves are the Old Testament and the New Testament. 3 French hens stand for faith, hope, and love. The 4 calling birds are the 4 Gospels. The 5 golden rings recall the first 5 books of the Old Testament. None of this I knew. I had no idea that this is what it actually represented. The 6 geese a-laying stand for the 6 days of creation. The 7 swans a-swimming represent the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit. The 8 maids a-milking are the 8 beatitudes. 9 ladies dancing are the 9 fruits of the Holy Spirit. The 10 lords a-leaping are the 10 commandments. The 11 pipers piping represent the 11 faithful apostles, and the 12 drummers drumming symbolize the 12 points of the doctrine of the Apostles' Creed. I had no idea this was more of a religious song than it was just a traditional Christmas song. Did you know this? And was this something that we were taught? I was never taught this. 721-8255-721-TALK, kind of an interesting piece. When you start singing all the Christmas songs, when you start hearing all the Christmas hymns, when you start enjoying the festivities, which I know you have been for a long time, to remember and keep in mind of the religious messages behind each and every one of these. It's kind of sad, and we talked a little bit about this right after Thanksgiving, the Macy's Day Parade, the Thanksgiving Day Parade, how we're entering into the Christmas holiday, the Christmas spirit. We're going from the fall into the winter, and we start doing all the Christmas stuff. And very few of the singers and very few of the performances at the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Day Parade actually had anything to do with Christmas. Only 2 or 3 celebrities actually sing Christmas songs was kind of sad. When you do the lighting of the Christmas tree in New York City, and you have the big Rockefeller's parade or the Rockefeller's celebration, when are we going to go back to the traditional Christmas mentality? 721-8255-721-TALK. I want to shift gears a little bit here, so I'll play some of the clips that we so enjoy. I don't know if you're aware or not, but Barack Obama and Joe Biden have been out doing their tours, their apology tours. They've risen up again to try and fight Donald Trump, and yet again, they've had another little debacle with the teleprompter.
Hiccup yesterday at the White House after President Obama's home teleprompter reportedly malfunctioned during a family dinner. Onion News Network Washington correspondent Jane Carmichael joins us now with more. Jane, tell us what exactly happened over there.
Well, Anna, last night in the middle of a conversation with Malia about raising her allowance, President Obama's home teleprompter suddenly went blank. He sort of froze mid-sentence, but after a few seconds of silence, Obama was able to call up his prepared remarks from memory.
So it didn't differ at all, basically, from the copy of the dinner conversation that had been sent over to reporters beforehand?
Right, that's right. It was almost verbatim.
Wow.
He hit all the points about Malia needing to get at least a B in math and trying to get onto the soccer team, just in a different order than they were written.
Well, White House Deputy Press Secretary Brenda England briefly addressed this error today. Let's take a look.
Look, the president has hundreds of conversations every day, and it simply isn't feasible for him to memorize the text for every single one. The prompter is really just a tool to help the president remember to speak, blink, and breathe.
And look, Obama is always open about the fact that he works with a team of talented writers on every remark he makes.
Yeah, absolutely. The prompters just help make sure he doesn't say the wrong thing at any point ever.
Exactly. He would write his conversations himself, but he's just too busy.
He's the president.
He does make sure, though, to look over and edit any asides or offhand remarks he didn't personally script, though.
Of course. You know, Jane, it seems like the president has gotten better at using the teleprompter since the campaign.
Yes,
we all remember that horrible pumpkin patch incident before the election when the wind blew the prompter over in the middle of picking pumpkins with the girls.
That's right, and causing Obama to fumble around awkwardly, drop the pumpkin he was holding, and refer to Sasha as Jennifer.
And there was the caps lock incident.
Oh, yes. Obama nearly shouted himself hoarse over the course of that speech. And there were various mix-ups where teleprompter operators displayed the wrong lines. Once it caused him to say, I played a little basketball myself in high school after sampling a piece of Cape Cod saltwater taffy.
Boy, the GOP had a field day with that one.
Obama was furious about it. He had his staff put a long, angry rant into the teleprompter for him to scream at them.
I remember that. But, you know, also, Jane, we should point out that Obama's not the first president to use scripted interactions.
No.
Ronald Reagan was known for using cue cards, for instance.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah.
And, of course, Joe Biden is known for reading his remarks off his arm where he's written them in magic marker.
Exactly right. Well, Jane, thank you so much for that report. We appreciate it, as
Thank you,
always. Far from caving to criticism, the president has increased his reliance on the teleprompter, sending it alone on low-priority diplomatic meetings and photo ops. Well, right after the break, we'll talk to a Philadelphian who knows all the best places to get murdered.
There you go. There you go. Obama's teleprompter still malfunctioning even after his time in the White House. That was an old skit that we found from The Onion that ran that years ago and had to cling on to that one. We love being able to air that when we get a chance, even with Barack Obama still no longer in office. 721-825-5721-TALK. This time last year, or 2 years ago, if you remember, this time about 2 years ago, before the election, before Donald Trump got sworn in and got elected the election 2 years ago, the campaigns were hot and heavy and they were moving on quite a bit. Ted Cruz is the first one to actually jump into the race. And during that time, more and more people around Christmas time 2 years ago, more candidates were jumping into the race. And he came out with a nice little Christmas campaign ad that I thought was absolutely brilliant. This is what Ted Cruz had to say during Christmas time.
Imagine the greatest Christmas stories told by the senator who once read Green Eggs and Ham from the Senate floor.
'Twas the night before the shutdown, and all through the house, not a bill was stirring, not even to fund a mouse.
A Proven Record presents a collection of timeless Christmas classics, read by the trusted conservative leader, Ted Cruz. Favorites such as How Obamacare Stole Christmas and Rudolph the Underemployed Reindeer.
All of the other reindeer couldn't afford to hire Rudolph.
Act now and you'll get a leader who does exactly what he says he's going to do. In this case, read festive stories like Frosty, the Speaker of the House.
Look, the Speaker is melting before Congress.
And the Lois Lerner masterpiece, Auditing St. Nick.
I will audit him here or there. I will audit him anywhere.
The whole family will enjoy reading stories like The Grinch Who Lost Her Emails.
I know just what I'll do, Snicker. I'll use my own server, and no one will be the wiser.
And if you act now, we'll throw in the inspiring new Christmas story soon to be an instant classic.
Please read this one, Daddy.
Okay.
The Senator Who Saved Christmas.
Oh, this is a good one.
If you are not completely satisfied with this collection of Cruise Christmas classics, you probably hate Christmas and America.
I'm Ted Cruz, and I approve this message.
There it is. That was the campaign ad around Christmas time for Senator Ted Cruz for the presidency 2 years ago. Probably one of the most genius commercials I think I've ever seen. 721-8255-72-on-Talk as we roll along in a special Christmas special episode here, The Voice of Reason. And from the Ag Network right across the studios here.
Right across the glass.
Right across the glass. You can see me doing my rant and raven every single day.
Every morning.
Mr. Craig Mead. Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Merry Christmas to you. How you doing?
Oh, words. Well,
you have a little bit of a head cold there.
The voice is beginning to become a little more stable.
Well, there you go.
Allegedly.
I'm Batman. Yeah, see?
There you go.
Yeah. Well, we hope you get to feeling better.
Well, appreciate it. It's actually on the tail end. It's just, of course, they had to sink in right to the radio guy has to sink into the voice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Your thoughts over the last year, kind of a recap of 2017 from the ag side of things. Commodity prices kind of rough this year, although after President Trump got in, I mean, stock market's moving back up.
Stock market's moving back up.
I think 2018 is going to be a good year.
Yeah, I think things are going in the right direction. I mean, we have a lot of issues with agriculture that other industries don't have. We have to rely more on the weather than other industries do, but if we get a good year weather-wise, I think things are kind of moving in the right direction. We can use some help with some prices in some areas, but well, that's
it'll come up.
That's and in some cases, one of the things that is positive about that is the demand. I mean, we've got huge demand for all the commodities. And so that's going to be positive. And then, I think that there's going to be some things happen probably that we don't talk about an awful lot in agriculture that will help agriculture. This thing with the taxes the last couple of days is going to be big. There's an awful lot of that shuffles back down, and a lot of people don't understand how some of this works for agriculture because it is a little bit different. But I think 2018 is going to be a pretty good year.
Come on, we got Donald Trump, and now we got Sonny Perdue. We are going to make agriculture great again.
We're going to make agriculture great again.
That's what we're going to do.
I really think that's a good combination, and I think there's some other people that work on behalf of agriculture. That a lot of people, we like to complain about our politicians a lot, and we do, and sometimes it's warranted. But there's an awful lot of folks that work really hard on behalf of agriculture, and for the most part, I think they do a pretty decent job. And I think the things are going to look pretty good in 2018.
Absolutely. Favorite Christmas tradition that you used to have as a kid?
Mine?
Yes.
Not having to go to school or work.
Hey, there
Christmas
you go.
Day.
That's success right there. Very good. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Craig Mead.
Merry Christmas to you, Andy.
We just had to bring you on saying Merry Christmas as we wrap up 2018. It's a good one, and like I said, 2018 is going to be huge. It's going to be great.
Good. Well, we appreciate you, Andy. Thanks very much.
Hey, always a pleasure.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Let's take a break here. We'll get your thoughts and calls. Just to say Merry Christmas, I want to hear from you today. 721-8255-72-on-Talk. This is The Voice of Reason on KQAM.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Hey, welcome back into The Voice of Reason right here on the Big Talker, KQAM. Appreciate you hanging out with us today as we're having a little fun today. Just enjoying living it up the way that we always do. Carpe diem today, whether it's working hard or partying hard, that's what we're all about. 721-8255-72-on-Talk. Welcome in here. 27 minutes past the hour. Let's get back into some of the audio bits, shall we? We have some fun playing these clips every single year, and one I don't think I've played here yet. I've had this for years. Actually, I took this one from Mike Rosen when I interned for him out at 850 KOA in Denver, Colorado, and this was a classic. This is an old radio skit that they used to do actually in a radio station in Ireland, and her name's Little Becky, and little Becky would randomly call businesses and people and have a little fun with them on the radio. You know, the old time when you could actually like have fun and call and poke fun at people and actually spoof them live on the air, and instead of people actually getting upset and then creating lawsuits. So this is little Becky and what she did while she was in Dublin, Ireland.
Hello, Intercore.
Hi, is that the demolition place?
It is, yeah.
Could you help me to destroy my school, please?
Just bear with me a second. Hello?
Hi.
Oh, what school do you go to?
I go to a school in Dublin.
And you want it demolished?
Yeah. Do you use a big wrecking ball, or how do you knock it down?
A big ball.
Right.
But hold on 1 wee second, please.
Hello?
How are you? My name's Becky.
Yes.
I have a proposal for you.
Go ahead.
Are you the demolition man?
Yes.
You're the top boss, yeah?
Go ahead. What's the crack? Hello?
I want you to help me destroy my school.
You want to blow it up?
Can you blow it up or knock it down?
Whatever you want done.
I'll blow it up, that would be better. Can you make sure that all my teachers are in there when you knock it down?
I don't know if I get away with that now.
You will. Nobody likes them. They give me extra homework on a Friday and everything.
Where are you calling from?
From Dublin.
What school in Dublin?
The one that's about to fall down.
There's a lot of schools in Dublin about to fall down.
And how much would it cost to knock it to the ground?
It depends how big it is.
Give me a ballpark figure.
He's not there. Give me a ballpark figure. Oh, Jesus. Here's that.
Is this a demolition company or a joke factory?
It's a joke factory at the minute, hey. It's a joke factory.
Listen, are you going to come and knock my school down or what?
Well, Shirley, can you fax me through a photograph or a site plan or something?
Right, I'll fax you through a plan of the school and my teachers' names.
Yeah, no problem, yeah.
And you just make sure that they're all in the building when you knock it down.
You put all their names on it. I'll give you a price for each individual teacher.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
When the school falls down, will it make a crash or a wallop?
Well, to say hey in Belfast, it'll make a big bang.
Sounds good. Oh, listen, I'll talk to you later, top man.
Sound. Good luck, hey. You look after yourself.
Fill your boots, man.
Right? Good luck.
See you after.
Welcome back into the Voice of Reason right here on the Big Talker KQAM. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. It's a Friday. It's a fun Free for All Friday. Sweet little Becky, if you heard that last audio bit, that was an old skit they used to do in the radio stations in Dublin, Ireland, where she'd call and have a little fun with some of the companies in the area. Makes sense. So, there's a lot of school buildings that are about to fall down. Not around here. We spend enough taxpayer money that they're not going anywhere around these parts. 721-8255-721-TALK. If you want to join into the program, I'd love to hear from you today. Just to say Merry Christmas. I want to be able to tell you that. I appreciate you listening here today on our Christmas special. As you know, there's an attack on masculinity throughout society today to where you as a male are not allowed to be like a male. They want you to be feminized. They want you to be womanized. They want you to be a little bit softer than what they usually are. We got some clips on that we'll play. If you remember, there is I'll play this here. This is a seminar that went to a college trying to have you confess your masculinity.
A university will be hosting a masculinity confession booth along with a number of other workshops and screenings to combat hypermasculinity. We have all reinforced hypermasculinity one way or another regardless of our gender, explains the University of Regina event description. Come and share your sins so we can begin to discuss how to identify and change our ways. The Man Up Against Violence initiative will be hosting these events at the University of Regina in Canada during the present week. The Masculinity Confession booth will be making its debut Monday, but is also listed on the schedule for Tuesday and Thursday, days on which students can also attend a Healthy Relationships and Healthy Masculinity workshop. Yet another event will seek to redefine the phrase man up. At the Man Up Against Violence initiative, we challenge mindsets and behaviors with regard to the social construction of masculinity and its relationship with violence. Details the Who We Are part of the site. We work together to bring light to the causes of all types of violence related to gender, race, socioeconomic status, ability level, and beyond. Man Up Against Violence aims to reduce violence, but also challenges social norms surrounding masculinity. The group's introductory video criticizes the stereotypical view of men as macho and unemotional, linking this to spousal abuse by asserting that men have violent outbursts as a result of pent-up emotions.
All right, so there you go. That was the masculinity confession booth that many universities were beginning to put in, to where you can confess about you being super macho and being a Superman, because they don't want you to be the super macho man. They want you to be a little bit softer. Then we take it to the next level, to where everybody, and I agree, everybody sometimes just needs a hug, but we've taken it just a little bit too far.
My name is Faye, and I'm a professional cuddler with Cuddle Sanctuary. I hold workshops around consent and touch, and I also see clients one-on-one. It is $80 an hour for a professional one-on-one session. We do a lot of hugging, holding hands, breathing together. Sometimes we talk, sometimes you're quiet, and then we cuddle. My work as a professional cuddler is misunderstood a lot. A lot of people are scandalized because they think of it as sort of this cover for sex work. Sex work is really important and needed. It's just not what I offer. My services are completely platonic. People have this idea that anybody who pays for professional cuddling is kind of desperate. That's just not the case. Half of us are single, and this large population of us are just starving for touch.
All right, so this is legit. This is not, you would like to think this is satire. This is not satire. This is the masculinity confession booth and then the professional cuddling, because everybody needs a hug. And I'd say your thoughts on this. Have we taken the soft feminization just a little bit too far? And would you go to a professional cuddler? 721-825. Maybe for the Christmas holiday. I know that a lot of people, and it's unfortunate, have to be alone and don't get to be near family or friends during the holiday season, and there's a spike in depression during the holidays. But would you go to a professional cuddler? I don't know if I would do that. 721-8255, 721-TALK. Sometimes you just need masculinity. Sometimes you just need a man to beat a man, to be the adrenaline junkie, to see how many beers they can put down, to see how high they can jump or how far they can jump or fall, or see if you can do something really, really stupid and survive from it. Because sometimes you just have to be that guy until you walk in the house, because you are the man of the house. You control that family, right? You control the household as long as you're allowed to. That's a joke I always make. And Mrs. Voice of Reason, I control what she does and says when she says that it's okay that I can do so. This is the man song.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man song. He's the man. He's the man. I don't take no crap from anybody else but you. I wear the pants around here when I finish with your laundry. Cause I'm a guy you don't want to fight. When I say jump, you say yeah right. I'm the man of this house until you get home. He's the man. He's the man. What I say goes around here right out the window. And I don't want to hear a lot of whining, so I'll shut up. The sooner you learn who's boss around here, the sooner you can give me my orders, dear. Because I'm head honcho around here, but it's all in my head. He's the man. He's the man. And I can have sex any time that you want. Because I'm a man who has needs, but they're not that important. And don't expect any flowers from me, because if I'm not mistaken, you prefer jewelry. I'm the king of my castle when you're not around. He's the man. He's the man. And I'll drink and watch sports whenever I want to get in trouble. And I'll come home when I'm good and ready to sleep on the couch. Because a man's got to do what a man's got to do, and I'm going to do what you tell me to, because I'm top dog around here, but I've been neutered. He's the man.
There it is, the ultimate man song, 721-8255. The quicker that you learn that, I guess, sometimes the better off you're going to be. The young generation, as you know, the millennials, they are, I know that's probably offensive. And this entire show has probably been a massive trigger warning for you to feel completely violated and feel offended. But you know what? This is the show that I really just don't care. I really just don't get it. The quicker you actually figure that out, the better off you're going to be. The young generation, if you notice, they're actually starting to, because now they're in their mid-30s, they're starting to actually go. We talked a couple of days ago about the housing market and how the housing market is actually booming. 11% growth the first time, 5% growth the first time in 11 years that we've seen that massive of a growth when it comes to home buying. And that's because the young generation finally wanting to get out of the parents' basement, wanting to actually start their family, and actually wanting to go out and do their own thing. Kind of nice, isn't it? But sometimes we need to watch out for those trigger warnings. Sometimes we need to look out for the offensiveness. And if you remember some of the offensiveness, if you dress up maybe for Santa Claus or a reindeer, or you dress up in some of the outfits for Christmas, just like Halloween, you need to be very careful on not offending anybody.
It's Halloween in the current year, and that can only mean one thing. People who wear offensive costumes are literally Hitler. This Halloween, don't be Hitler. Have a trigger-free trick-or-treat by pledging to make Halloween a safe space again. Whoa! Hands up, don't shoot! You, officer, have the right to remain offensive. Just kidding. That's not in our Constitution. Now, you might look in the mirror and see a sexy police officer. However, unsuspecting trick-or-treaters see a white, cisgender bigot who is enforcing a patriarchal system of oppression and systemic racism. Make Halloween a safe space this year by drawing attention to solidarity, not division. Like this look, which can only be described as oink, oink, bang, bangin'. And when you're out in your BLM costume, get into character. Find a Halloween party and shut it down. But an important disclaimer to this BLM getup: do not wear blackface. That's racist. Instead, take a cue from Rachel Dolezal or Sean King. Simple bronzer will do. Wingapo, more like Wingap, no. You might think you look like a Disney princess with a tomahawk, but you're actually culturally appropriating the life of Madawaska and applying outdated stereotypes of a pan-Indian culture. You might think natives are mythical creatures that are sort of magical, but they're not. Being Indian is a culture. It's not a costume. Moreover, the sexualization of women from foreign cultures is never okay. It's oppressive. It's rape culture. So, at a minimum, if you're going to appropriate another culture, don't make it sexy. Instead, slide on that blazer and dress up as Elizabeth Warren this Halloween. And no need to carry props like heritage papers. Just point to your high cheekbones and your costume will be complete. Despite what you might think, your convict outfit is not fashionable. It's fascist. Incarceration rates disproportionately affect men of color, and that's racist. Jail is racist. This convict costume fetishizes a victim of fascist, conservative, tough-on-crime legislation. This Halloween, delete racism by going as the presidential candidate who relieved the DOJ and the FBI of their prejudiced legal standards. Helpful props for your Hillary Clinton costume can include, but are not limited to, diazepam injections, anti-seizure sunglasses, and pictures of the Saudi prince. Just put them in your back pocket. But be sure to leave those subpoenaed emails at home, where they belong. Is it just me, or has Osama been misunderstood? You might think your terrorist costume is a parody on today's political affairs, but you're wrong. It's toxic, it's Islamophobic, it's blasphemy. And if someone uploads clips of your costume to YouTube, you could trigger a real terrorist attack. This Halloween, Taliban Islamophobia by striking tolerance into the necks of unbelievers. Oh, this Halloween, say not all Muslims by dressing up as a migrant. Whether you fancy yourself from Iran, Sudan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, really any country ending in "an", just tell folks you're from Syria, where you left your wife and kids. And if you get up to any mischief this Halloween, remind the authorities that It's not a crime if you're a refugee.
Well, we hope you found our video helpful.
Please share to help spread the word.
Spread the word. Halloween isn't about going out or having fun. It's about starting a dialogue, to take a more proactive approach to potentially offensive outfits by developing strategies and even explicit policies to prevent people from donning controversial costumes.
Halloween isn't just about candy. It's about cultural enrichment.
There it is. Now you know whether you dress up for Halloween or you dress up for Christmas. It doesn't matter. It's about starting the dialogue, not actually having fun. 721-8255, 721-TALK. Let's take a break. When we come back, I want to get your thoughts on your family traditions for Christmas, family recipes, or just for me to be able to tell you Merry Christmas. It's that time of year. Let's have a little fun with it. This is The Voice of Reason on KQAM.
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Welcome back into The Voice of Reason right here on the Big Talker KQAM. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. It's a Friday, baby. It's a free-for-all Friday and the pre-Christmas Friday. Rick Everett slipping back in here for a bit as trying to maintain the voice.
Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas. It's funny. It's actually appropriate you come back in for the segment. In the first hour, we were talking about our favorite gift that we received during Christmas.
Right.
As a kid. What was yours?
The toy soldiers.
That's right, the toy soldiers.
And then I got an over and under 22 20 gauge, a Savage.
There you
was
go.
a 22 on top and a 20 gauge on the bottom.
Exactly.
When I was about 14, that was pretty cool.
Perfect. See, you know, and who'd you get that from?
It's from my dad.
From your dad. All right. Parents and grandparents are the ones that get you the coolest gifts.
Well, especially if grandparents give you a pot.
Well, see, you know what? Well, here's the thing.
I'm just kidding, folks. I'm just kidding.
No.
That was a segue.
No.
It was a segue.
Here it is. Here's the latest story. This is a legit story.
Dateline, York, Nebraska.
Nebraska. 85-year-old couple driving from California to Vermont gets pulled over on Interstate 80 in Nebraska with 60 pounds of marijuana.
Yep.
60 pounds of marijuana. Now, here's the thing. Two 85-year-olds driving down the highway from California to Vermont, an entire cross-country road trip, get stopped in the middle of the country, 60 pounds of marijuana. When they were asked why they had 60 pounds of marijuana.
Well, you see, officer, the drugs are meant to be Christmas presents.
Right there. Christmas gifts for the family. 60 pounds a doobie to give to the grandkids. Now, either they have a lot of grandkids, a lot of family to give this to, or they're going to be set for the next 2 years. Just saying.
And to my knowledge, they're still in the York County, Nebraska jail.
As far as I'm aware.
Oh, my goodness
I'm
gracious.
pretty sure trafficking 60 pounds of marijuana across country, you may get in a little bit of trouble. But yes, giving them as a Christmas gift to the family from California to Vermont.
You know, there's that old adage, the family that prays together stays together.
Yes.
So maybe in this case, if they're in a courtroom, the family that weeds together pleads together.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's what it is. I've never, what do you say? Sometimes grandparents give the best gifts.
What do you say?
What do you say to that one? Grandma, what'd you get me for Christmas? Well, you're not going to remember it for long. I got you some of this, and then a gift certificate to Cheetos Express.
Yes.
There you go.
Chipotle, here we come.
And Chipotle. Good golly. If I got that for Christmas, I don't know. What would you do if you got 60 pounds of marijuana for Christmas?
Bless my grandparents' soul. If they even heard I was laughing at this, that would not be cool.
That would not, exactly. Yeah. They'd be like, oh, no. Yeah.
You know what marijuana is?
Allegedly. I read about it in Bible study.
Have times changed or what?
Just a little bit.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, when the grandparents, that's what they're giving their grandkids. Now, again, 60 pounds. I hope they have like 200 grandkids.
Well, okay. Now, how legit is that? Really? Okay.
Just saying.
Oh, please.
Just saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 60 pounds of marijuana for Christmas. Merry Christmas. There's something else green in the house.
They were in a Toyota Tacoma. Yep.
Toyota. Well, I don't know. How do you even pack it? Was it wrapped in the Christmas bow and everything too?
I have no clue, Andy.
Was it wrapped
asking
in? I don't
the
know.
wrong guy.
Asking the wrong guy here. I'd like to see how they actually wrap this. Oh, this is for little Johnny, and oh, this is for your glaucoma. I heard about that. That was a terrible ordeal. We saw that on the Skype Live, and man, I just had to get something to take care of you. You know, it's both beneficial and it's medicinal. All right, it's gonna work great. Oh, you got your little cough. I saw that you hurt yourself on your Little League game last week. This is gonna be able to help you out.
Little Jimmy, you've just been depressed.
You've just been depressed. I know that you started wearing that emo eyeliner. We just don't understand it. You young, dumb kids, here's some stuff for you. It might make you feel a little bit better.
Granny, you want to go longboarding?
I've never seen. Now, okay, if this was like, you know, a young couple that was trying to give it to their buddies for Christmas, but 85-year-old grandparents, here you go. Merry Christmas, the ultimate Christmas gift to the family, apparently. Hour number 2 all wrapped up. Hour number 3 right around the corner. Lots more audio bits, lots more stories. I want to hear from you. I want to be able to tell you Merry Christmas. 721-8255, 721-TALK. This is your show. It's time to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason if you can with a voice. This is the Voice of Reason on KQAM.
It's time for Reason.
They have really abused their power, saying, well, we're not going to tell you exactly how much money. They used to. This is how much money we need to see for it to be, quote unquote, suitable. And that way you're constitutionally compliant. Nowadays, they say, yeah, you know what? We made a mistake back then. We're not allowed to tell you exactly how much because you do have the power of the purse, but only to some degree because we still get to tell you whether it's constitutional or not. So I can't tell you how much, but you need more money.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again.
Good morning to you. Welcome into the Voice of Reason, hour number 3 of the Voice of Reason right here on the Big Talker, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM. It is a Friday. It is the pre-Christmas celebration, and bear with me today. Bear with me as it's a little stable right now-ish, but for whatever reason, it likes to sink right into the throat when it came to this ridiculous thing I've been fighting for a week now. This is driving me nuts. Welcome into it. It's a free-for-all Friday. As we do every single Friday, whatever's on your mind, troubling you, bothering you, or just allow me to tell you Merry Christmas. It's the special episode of the year. It's the Voice of Reason's Free-for-all Friday. Let's do it. All right. 721-8255, 721-TALK. If you want to join into the program, I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me a message all over social media, the Facebook, the Twitter, at Hoosier Reason, the Facebook Live feed we have going as well. Rick Eversight in studio with me as well to help relieve of my ridiculousness here. I'm trying to think of what I sound like other than absurd today with my throat.
You're fine, man. It's more in your head than it is anyone else's.
Anyone else's, that's right.
Literally.
Well, see, that's not what you did there. See, I want to hear from you. We've played all the fun little audio skits and bits. I have some more coming up this hour, and I have not forgotten a tradition every year to read my story every single year for Christmas, the Redneck Night before Christmas. We will read that before this hour's done.
And I've got a gift that we're going to give away here
all right.
Before the end of this hour.
I love it.
Spears Restaurant and Pie Shop, Maple and Tracy.
Yes.
They are one of our great weather sponsors.
Yes.
And in addition to that, they have a deal going on right now where if you're looking for a last-minute stocking stuffer, you go in and you buy 4 of their whole pie cards, and they'll give you a 5th one free.
Very nice.
And so what's cool is you could like stuff 4 stockings and keep one for yourself.
There you go. Exactly. Hey, that works for me.
But anyway, I've got because I did just that, and I've got a whole pie card right here in my formerly nicotine stained fingers. Formerly,
yes.
That we will be giving away.
Very good.
And somebody can go into Spears Restaurant and Pie Shop and get a whole pie. Compliments to KQAM.
Very good. Well, we'll do that in just a little bit here. Your thoughts, your tradition, your celebration, your recipes, whatever you like to do for Christmas, I do want to hear from you today. 721-8255, 721-TALK. We talk about education a lot on this show, with education spending, with the quality of education, and sometimes when we focus too much on Common Core education, sometimes that intelligence level leaks out just a little bit. And there were a couple contestants on Wheel of Fortune earlier this year, and this is what they had to say, the true epitome of what Common Core education sounds like.
And just read it.
Gondola ride through Venice.
Yeah. Let's check your geography knowledge. What country do you think we're sending you to?
Paris.
Oh, no.
France.
Do we still get it?
Do we still get it?
There you go.
Apparently you know your husband well.
There you go.
Oh, my.
Venice, where are you going? We're going to Paris, baby.
That's close.
It's close enough. Welcome to Common Core education, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my.
That is probably a young millennial couple. And, you know, the millennial my generation, we have some issues. Sometimes.
Nah.
We have some issues.
Every generation has their issues.
And sometimes...
Don't be so hard on yourself.
We just need to work on our generation. So there has been a group, an organization created to help out millennials with their lifestyle, with the way they view culture, with the way that we sometimes we just need that hand up while we're also still living in our parents' basement sometimes. This is Millennial International.
I was at church one day, and the speaker that day was different. I just sat there with tears in my eyes, learning about this ministry that was revolutionizing the planet. I'm talking, of course, about Millennial International.
It's hard.
The need is enormous. There are over 10 million millennials out there who have graduated with no work ethic, no job, no discernible skills at all, and they have expenses.
Housing.
Student loans.
Credit card debt.
And I didn't really realize the magnitude of the problem until I looked into the eyes of a millennial. And I saw that face with the dead, nothing's happening up here kind of thing. So I went out to the booth after the service, and I talked with the guy, and he really informed me about the devastation that's not being able to fund a millennial lifestyle.
Core Power Yoga.
Birchbox for Men.
I looked over all the envelopes, and my heart was really touched when I saw this one particular fellow that I just had to get more information about him. He was Declan from Beverly Hills.
I am an aspiring photographer. I graduated college with an art degree, so obviously that puts me at a disadvantage.
Volkswagen Jetta lease.
Beard wax.
Spotify Premium.
In his last letter, he wrote to me and said that his weekend was, how did he put it? Totes lit fam. Literally have no idea what that means.
Spin Cycle membership.
Pet food for my rescue dog. Uber's home from a pub crawl.
A typical sponsorship program costs $29 a month. Millennial International is actually $2,900 a month. Yeah, it seems expensive at first, but when you see the need, it is so worth it.
Trunk Club subscription.
Essential oils. Annual pilgrimage to Bethel Church.
It's the same as a traditional sponsorship program, except instead of getting, say, a soccer ball for his birthday, he's getting an Audi.
Am I capable of having a job? Sure, but I just feel like maybe employment right now would just kind of be stifling my creativity.
Through the sponsorship program, they actually set up a chance for us to meet each other in person. I brought him an apple pie that my wife had baked for him, but I totally forgot he's gluten-free, so he couldn't eat it.
I mean, obviously, I've seen Food Inc., so I don't eat the traditional meals like everybody else. For breakfast, I usually do like some kombucha juice.
He really didn't have much energy that week, and it turns out, he was on a juice cleanse. And I wanted to respect that. My wish for Declan, that he would realize his potential in life, that he would be better, achieve more.
I've been getting blue ribbons and participation trophies my whole life. What do you expect? For me, if it wasn't for the program, I'd have to get a job. Or worse, start a GoFundMe.
Many of these kids in traditional sponsorship programs are fighting diseases like malaria, pneumonia, tuberculosis. And these millennials have the same struggle. Peanut allergies, pollen sensitivity, lactose intolerance. Kids in Africa are getting typhoid. Declan was recently diagnosed with tennis elbow. I was originally paying vision and eye care insurance for him, but it turns out his eyeglasses weren't even real. To me, you can't put a price on friendship. Join me in sponsoring a millennial today and help us.
Help us.
Help us. Help us live the lives we portray on Instagram.
There you go. I have started. I have posted my profile onto Millennial International. You're more than welcome to sponsor me at any time because we truly, honestly need the help.
Yes. Hey, did you hear the story? This story just broke this last week, and I think it might explain something behind the whole snowflake name.
I like snowflakes.
This an embryo.
Okay.
That had been frozen for 24 years.
Wow.
Was implanted into a woman, and she gave birth to what appears to be a healthy, normal child.
A healthy, frozen for 20 plus years.
Could that be a conspiracy theory behind the whole snowflake
Well,
thing?
I don't know. It's been frosted for a while, so you never know. Never know what could come of that. 721-825-572 and talk. Let's go ahead and give away the nice little pie, the free pie from Spears Restaurant and Pie Shop.
They're going to have to work for it, though.
They have to work for it.
And Spears is doing a deal now. You buy 4 gift cards for stocking stuffers. They'll give you a 5th one free. They're at Maple and Tracy. Been doing it right for over 60 years. Okay, let's do it like this.
Let's do it like this. Now, first off, if you're a millennial, yes, I know you still have to work for the free goodie. I'm sorry. You still have to work for it. But
they'll Google it.
No Googling, no Googling, no
Google
Spotifying or whatever else you can do to do a quick little search. Here it is. The first person to call in at 721-825-572-TALK and list.
Not the first.
Not the first.
No.
What?
Nope. The third person to call in.
So 3 people have to ramble through it?
Yep.
All right. 3 people.
No. 3 people don't have to ramble through it. The third caller. Third caller.
There we go. Third caller.
And I want you to take the calls live on the air.
We'll take them live on the air here. The third caller that can list all of Santa's reindeer without looking it up right off the top of your head.
And go.
721-825-572-TALK. We'll get you on the air here, and we'll talk about Santa's reindeer. The first one that can list all of Santa's reindeer. And just a little hint, Leroy is not one of them.
All right.
Leroy was the backup of Donner.
All right. Do you have some little Christmas background
music? So we can get some Christmas
background
music on there as well. So can you list all of Santa's reindeer, and we'll get you on the air, and then you can be to get yourself a nice little free gift card to a free pie to Spears Restaurant and Pie Shop. Let's go to the phones here, shall we? 721-825-572-TALK. Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning. It's Dawn.
Hi, Dawn. How are you today?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Hey, well, very good. The question is for you. Can you name all of Santa's reindeer?
Okay, it's a lot of pressure, but let me think. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen.
Yes.
And Rudolph.
And Rudolph. There it is. I love it. Dawn, you just won yourself some nice pie with Spears
You messed
Restaurant
up
and Pie
the
Shop.
whole thing. We were supposed to take caller number 3.
Well,
you gave it to Dawn.
But she was so nice.
All right,
so we
Dawn,
gotta give it to Dawn here.
Dawn, okay. So here's what I need you to do. Okay.
Okay.
Right at 9 o'clock. Okay. Yeah. I need you to call our office number 721-8. What the heck am I trying to do?
8484.
Thank you. I got lost.
There you go.
721-8484. That's our office number, Dawn.
Okay.
So can you call right at 9 o'clock and ask for me, and then I'll get some information from you and keep this pie thing for you?
Absolutely.
Or here, I tell you what, I could just take her information when we go to break here.
We'll go to break. Okay, let's do that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
How about that? Dawn, stay on the line here. Don't go anywhere. We'll get your information.
Hey, Dawn, congratulations. Have you ever had a Spears pie?
No, I haven't actually. And let's not tell my family about this. Okay?
No, we won't. We'll keep it just between us.
This is the pie you're not taking to the family dinner, right?
Do you have any millennials?
Absolutely.
Are there any millennials in your family?
I have some pre-millennials, but
Pre-millennials? Okay.
Yeah, we have a dairy farm, so there's no chance of that kind of
Would you sponsor me on Millennial International?
Yeah, we'll have to talk offline.
Okay. Well, Dawn, I gotta share with you. I don't know if a premillennial would know this term, but a millennial would. Spears pies are absolutely bomb-tastic.
Oh, there you go. I like
They're
that.
bomb-tastic. Okay,
Very good.
So hang on the line. We'll get your information. Now I got to come up with something else
now you
because
gotta do
we
something.
can't do our audience like this. You can't say you're going to do something for caller number 3 and then do it for caller number 1.
That's
So now
right.
we need 2 more contests.
We need
to give away 2 more pies.
There we go.
Thanks, Andy.
That's
Thanks
right.
a bunch.
That's just the way I roll. I'm Santa. I just like to give. Dawn, Merry Christmas to you. Hang on the line here. We appreciate it. Stay right there. Your thoughts and calls when we come back as well. This is The Voice of Reason on KQAM.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on the Big Talker KQAM.
Welcome back into the Voice of Reason right here on the Big Talker KQAM. We love having you here. Welcome aboard on a Friday, starting off the holiday right, starting it off the proper way, right here on the Voice of Reason. 721-8255-721-TALK. If you want to join into the program.
Congratulations to
Congratulations to Dawn. Yes, absolutely. We have some more goodies that we'll give away here because, you know what, it's Christmas time, and we like to give things away because we're just super awesome like that. If I can say it.
Yeah, you can do this.
I can do this. It's okay. Here it is. Now, we talk about regulations. We talk about the government controlling. We talk about automation all the time. And soon, hopefully not anytime soon during our lifetime, but soon at some point, everything will be automated and we will have the international chips in us and all this stuff. So that way we can be registered for the government. And what do you think that would imagine to be like if you were trying to order a pizza? What do you think?
If you had to go through government regulation,
just to order a pizza.
Oh, it'd be like a trip to the DMV, I'd imagine.
It'd be something like this, I think.
Pizza Palace, guaranteed hot in 30 minutes or it's free. This is Mary. May I take your order?
Hi, Mary. Yes, I'd like to order.
Is this Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Thank you for calling again, sir. I show your national identification number is 610-204-999-8-45-54610. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. I see you live at 736 Montrose Court, but you're calling from your cell phone. Are you at home?
I'm just leaving work, but I'm...
Oh, we can deliver to Bob's Auto Supply. That's at 175 Lincoln Avenue, yes?
No, I'm on my way home. How do you know all this stuff?
We just got wired into the system, sir.
Oh, well, I'd like to order a couple of your double meat special pizzas.
Sure thing. There'll be a new $20 charge for those, sir.
What do you mean?
Sir, the system shows me that your medical records indicate that you have high blood pressure and extremely high cholesterol. Luckily, we have a new agreement with your national health care provider that allows us to sell you double meat pies as long as you agree to waive all future claims of liability.
What?
Do you agree, sir? You can sign the form when we deliver, but there is a charge for processing. The total is $67 even.
$67?
Well, that includes the delivery surcharge of $15 to cover the added risk to our driver of traveling through an orange zone.
I live in an orange zone?
Now you do. Looks like there was another robbery on Montrose yesterday. You could save $48 if you ordered our special Sprout Submarine combo and picked it up yourself. Comes with tofu sticks. Those are very tasty, sir. Good value, too.
But I want double meat.
Well, I'm sure you can afford the $67 then. You just bought those tickets to Hawaii. They weren't cheap, eh?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, but I see you checked out the budget beach bum at the library last week. Up to you, sir.
All right. I'll get the Sprout subs.
Good choice, sir. Gotta watch that waist if you're hitting the beach, eh? 42 inches. Wow.
Oh, no.
Man, I'd say tofu and Sprouts is, like, required.
That's how much?
Just between you and me, there's a $3 off coupon in this month's Total Men's Fitness magazine. Your wife Betty subscribes to that, right? Anyhow, clip that and it's $19.99 even. Whoa, looks like you maxed out on all your credit cards. Bring cash, okay?
There it is. That's what the new system's going to look like.
Now, this is crazy. This is crazy because that is not too far off the mark.
I'm telling you, it's right around the corner, isn't it? Let's go to the phones here real quick. We got about a minute before the bottom of the hour. 721-8255-721-TALK. Good morning. What's your name?
Hey, ho, 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 and happy Friday.
Myron, how are you, sir? Merry Christmas to you.
Oh, I'm doing great. You guys, that last bit was just hilarious.
I'm telling you, it's coming right around the corner. Better be prepared.
Well, I want you to think now, if millennials all get jobs and have to work, think of the businesses that are going to suffer for lack of millennials. I mean, like Starbucks, how are they going to survive if they can't hang out in there all day?
Ooh, that could be a difficult one right there. They can't pretend like they're being the great author they are by having their laptop up and sipping on their thing and doing their whatever, nice little hipster deal that they do at Starbucks.
We've got to keep millennials because that could devastate the economy, and we're trying to make the economy better. So we got to, as you say, we got to treat millennials better because there's some businesses that count on them.
Keep them unemployed.
Keep them unemployed. That's the way to roll. Myron, I love it. Merry Christmas
Lifelong
to you, my
college
friend.
students.
There we go. Merry Christmas to you. Appreciate it very much. We'll get your phone calls when we come back. Wrapping up the show. Plus, don't forget, we do have our Redneck Night Before Christmas. This is the tradition on The Voice of Reason. We'll do that when we come back. More callers on the line. Stay here. We'll get to you as soon as we come back. This is The Voice of Reason on KQAM.
It's time for some common sense, sanity, and reason.
You can't handle the truth.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Welcome back into The Voice of Reason right here on the Big Talker, KQAM. Merry Christmas to you. Welcome aboard. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. It's a pre-Christmas celebration. It's the Free for All Friday, and we want to hear from you. 721-8255-721-TALK. Lines are lighting up, so let's go right to them here, shall we? Good morning. What's your name? Oh, yes, we lost one. Let's try number 2. 721-8255-721-TALK. Good morning. What's your name?
Must be something wrong with me, Linus.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How we doing?
I'm doing good. This is Paul.
Paul, how are you? Merry
Morning,
Christmas,
Paul.
sir.
I'm doing great. Hey, I just wanted to call and thank you and all the other people in this area who do the things big and small to help other people out. Yesterday, my wife and I stopped by the Aldi's down in Derby, and we just forgot to bring any change with us or for a quarter for the cart, but we noticed that about half the carts outside had quarters already in them.
Nice.
Somebody just
How cool.
loaded quarters in them. And, it's a time of year that we celebrate Christ and the gift that he is to everybody. And we can be that same sort of gift by the little things that we do. And I just appreciate what you do. I appreciate you putting yourself out there and the other people who support, like what you've been talking about today, limited government, letting people be the best they can and helping each other as opposed to standing around waiting for somebody in government to take money from me to give it to somebody else. So thanks, Andy.
Well, no doubt. Thank you very much for that. And that's, every little thing that we do as a community. Look, when we talk about this on the show all the time, we can fix the country by the small things like you just mentioned, by us taking care of ourselves, our family, our neighbors and friends and family, our community around us. And by that, when everybody does that, the progressives don't get it, but when we work as an individual and as a family, then we fix the entire nation individually, little by little, as opposed to the big government doing it for us.
Amen.
Amen.
Way to do it. Thanks, Andy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Paul. I really appreciate that. That means a lot.
You have another one lit up?
We got another one. Let's go right back to it here, shall we? Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning. It's Pam.
Pam, how are you today?
Well, kind of croupy. I guess I had sympathy pains for poor Andy.
There you go.
Boy, I tell you what, it's I don't know why. Of course, it just sets right into the nice throat here and say, "Hey,
Andy,
radio host."
Andy, while you're talking to Pam,
yes.
Excuse me. Now I'm getting.
See, now you're getting it too. It's virus.
Oh, no.
It's spreading.
While you're talking to Pam, I'm going to throw out the next trivia question. Okay. And the next trivia question to win a Spears pie is from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Okay, and here is the question. What was the name of Rudolph's girlfriend? Okay, now, Pam, go ahead.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I heard the story about the 85-year-old,
yes.
and I am still cracking up about it because the poor kiddies will not get their Christmas gifts.
Oh,
for
that's
one thing,
That's a heartbreaker. Well, and here's the thing to think about. If they're 85, that means their children are probably between 60 to 70 years old.
Right.
Ish, which means, well, probably not 70 because I'd be making 15 when they hit. Hey, we started early.
But back in the day.
But okay, so let's say 60 years old ish, which means the grandkids are probably in their 35s to 40 years old. which means it's probably the great-grandkids that are getting it, or the 40-year-olds and the 60-year-olds have some type of arthritis that they really need to feel good about.
See? That's it. But my question is, did you guys say how they caught these people?
It was just a traffic stop.
It was a traffic stop that they stopped, and then they ended up swallowing it in 60 pounds of marijuana.
And that's the other thing. You should only break one law at a time. I mean, if you're toting 60 pounds of pot, drive right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, exactly right. Holy cow.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Pam.
You guys, too. It's great. You've been great all year. Have a great Christmas.
Love it. Merry Christmas to you, Pam. Appreciate that very much.
Okay, Rudolph's girlfriend's name.
Girlfriend. We have a caller on the line, so let's see if they know this. If they do, they get a free gift card for a free pie at Spears Restaurant and Pie Shop. What is, and I got to remember this, Rudolph's girlfriend.
You don't know, do you?
I've been racking my brain trying to remember who it is. Let's go to the phones and see if they know. Good morning. What's your name?
Hey, it's Dave.
Dave,
hey,
how are you, sir?
Dave. I'm great. Merry Christmas to you guys.
Merry Christmas to you. Do you know the answer?
I don't. I called before you asked the question,
That's
and
okay.
I've been waiting.
That's
so
all right.
I don't have it.
What you got?
Just had a couple of comments. Just as we as a country, well, I think one of the things we've got to get past when it comes to government policy is something that benefits one person but doesn't benefit me hurts me. And I hate that attitude.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if they pass a tax cut that gave a tax benefit to talk show hosts.
Sure.
Well, that hurts me. No, that doesn't hurt me. It helps you, but that doesn't mean it hurts me. And that's the biggest problem with during the whole discussion of our tax policy was that, oh, well, you're screwing the middle class because you're helping somebody else.
Well, and
you're helping somebody else, but that doesn't screw you.
The other side of that coin, Dave, is when something argently wrong is going on, that people don't say a thing because, quote, it doesn't affect me.
That's true, too.
Well, it's the society of the entitlement. If you're getting something, I should get something as well, which is the ones that are complaining about this are the ones that aren't paying taxes into the system anyways. So when someone gets a tax break, they're upset because they're not getting as much of a tax relief because they're not paying into it in the first place. So it's the entitlement, selfish mentality that we've had. And again, there's a difference between selfishness of we need to look out for our own, and when we do that, everybody looks out for their own, which makes everybody better in the long run as an entire society, as opposed to you're getting something and I'm not, how dare you, so I'm entitled to get some of yours as well.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Absolutely.
Hey, I do got to talk a little bit about millennials because some of the snowflakes drive me crazier than the average bear. But I've got a 26-year-old millennial who's an RN at an NICU and takes care of micro babies every day. Her husband's an engineer at an aircraft plant. And I've got another daughter who's working on her PhD, and her husband's working on his PhD as well. So not all of the millennials are losers.
That is very true.
A little shout out to my millennials and how proud I am of them.
I love it. Well, you know what? It's all how they're raised. And if they're raised to learn the work ethic and learn how to do the right things, then they're going to. So you obviously did a very good job with that. And they're the ones many of us, I'm a millennial myself. We are the ones that are trying to represent what millennials should be like as opposed to what they try and portray us to be all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna sign off. You guys have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Appreciate
you too,
it, Dave. You too. Merry Christmas to you.
Does nobody know the name of Rudolph's girlfriend?
Well, we got another caller on the line, so let's go to it and see if they know Rudolph's girlfriend's name. Dolores.
No, not
Susie.
even close. No.
Let's go to the phones and see here, shall we? 721-8255. Good morning. What's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry, how are you, sir?
Pretty good. I think the name is Clarice.
Yes.
There it is. Clarice.
Jerry is the winner. I was about to give a clue and say Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, hello, Clarice.
Yes.
I do that with a good.
You sound really good like that.
Hello, Clarice.
Hey, congratulations, man. Have you ever had a Spears pie?
I've had pieces of it. I've never had a whole one.
Well, see, this is just, now you can just go pick it up, take it home, and stick a fork in it, baby.
That's
it's
right.
all yours.
That's right. I love it. Jerry, hang on the line here. We're going to go to break. We'll get you your coupon or your gift certificate for a free pie at Spears Restaurant and Pie Shop.
Pie card.
While we do that, it is time. I hold on to this every single year. It's a tradition that I do. every single year, and that is the Redneck Night Before Christmas. Now, luckily, since I'm a little sketchy on the voice today, it is pre-taped from last year because it was really good last year, so I stuck and hung on to it, but this is an annual tradition. I read it to my daughter every single year. I read it on the radio every single year right before Christmas, and it's what we get to enjoy as the Redneck Night Before Christmas.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the trailer park, not a pop top was poppin', not even Old Blue barked. Our stockings was hung high over the space heater with care, in hopes that Sandy would fill 'em with Viennas and beer. The kids were asleep in their NASCAR PJs, dreaming of Goo Goo Doll clusters, moon pies, and Milky Ways. And Earlene in her curlers and me in my Earnhardt cap had just settled down in our lazy boys for Wheel of Fortune and a nap. Then out of the vacant lot, heard such a commotion, I thought it was neighbor Clyde, finally got his T-Bird in motion. I heaved out of my recliner and to the window I flew, busted out the screen door and hollered to Old Blue. The moon was shining down on our old wrecked cars, so bright they was sparkling like rusty old stars. And I couldn't believe my old hard-working eyes when a jacked-up Chevy pickup come flying through the sky. Faster than old Ironhead and his possums they came, and he whooped and he hollered and he called him by name. Get up, Sooner, Hyde, Duke, move your tails, Yaller and Spud. On Blackie, on Queenie, you mind me, Duchess and Bud. To the top of the satellite dish, to the top of the shed. Now get on it and step on it, y'all get out the lead. Now you know how on an old road, whenever a car goes by, there's all this dirt that flies up into the sky? That's how this crew went straight up to my roof with that pickup full of toys, real nice gun rack, and Redneck Santa too. Then, for I could pop my teeth in, I heard up on the tin the scrambling around of them flying possums of his. I yanked my head back into the trailer and hitched up my shorts. Down the dryer vent, Redneck Santa came with a grunt and a snort. He was dressed in red and green camo from his neck to his feet, and I had to give him credit, he still had most of his teeth. Looked like stuff from Earlene's yard sale slung on his back. There was fly swatters and Tupperware and 8-track sticking out of his pack. When he winked his eye, I knew for sure he'd treat us right. Why, he just might even leave me some ammo tonight. I stood there dreaming of a whitetail while I watched him work, and then he stopped like a real man, let out a fart and a burp. He topped off our stockings with moon pies and bottle rockets, then squoze up that dryer vent like spam in your pocket. He jumped in his pickup, laid down on the horn, and I'm not lying, they took off with them possum tails flying. But I heard him holler as he headed for the 7-Eleven, Merry Christmas to all, and may all rednecks get into heaven.
Rudolph drank the moonshine, he was heading up this
There
way.
it is, the traditional Redneck Night Before Christmas. It is a tradition every single year. I read it to myself, I read it to my daughter, I read it on the air every single year. Merry Christmas to you. That's what it's all about right there. What do you say? You like the Redneck Night Before Christmas?
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very
indeed.
cool.
I got one more little audio bit for you before we take a break here, and then when we come back, we'll wrap up with the Inman Harvest Cafe getting ready for their Fried Chicken Friday, and then the final farewells here. But as we talk about the progressives, as we talk about the dependency, the Bernie Sanders movement is growing tenfold, and we don't want that to happen. And it's not even sticking with just human beings. Humans are not the only Bernie Sanders fans. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. See, here's a brand new one for you, because sometimes your animals may be a little dependent as well.
Well, I think my dog's a Democrat.
It's a terrible deal.
And it breaks my heart to have to say an ugly thing like that. But there's a big old pile of evidence that all points towards the fact my dog might be
a Democrat.
Breaks my heart very much so. Not really.
I pay for all his health care and I buy everything he eats.
Yep.
I provide him with a place to live just to keep him off the street.
It's like a millennial.
But he just acts like he's entitled. Even tried to unionize the cat. Yeah, I think my dog's a Democrat. He chewed up the devotion that I keep on display.
That's a bad Mr. Kitty.
And every time Benghazi's on TV, he looks the other way.
What difference at this point does it make?
I know he's a liberal, even if he won't admit it. He pooped on my living room rug and tried to tell me George Bush did it.
Yeah, pretty much.
He ain't got no papers, and what really gets my goat is if he could find a ride to town. Well, I know they'd let him vote. We're sure we've had some good times, and he's been fun to have around. But if he ever barks about my right to bear arms, I'm gonna have him put down. I pay for all his health care, and I buy everything he eats. I provide him with a place to live just to keep him off the streets. You'd have to be a socialist to ever act like that. So my dog must be a Democrat.
Makes sense to me. Yep.
His behavior has been hinting that his mom might be Mrs. Clinton.
Oh, ouch.
I think my dogs spread the wealth, government health, flea-bitten Democrat.
Dag nabbit, I tell you what.
Good stuff.
This is the Voice of Reason on KQAM.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on the Big Talker KQAM.
Welcome back into the Voice of Reason. Wrapping up the show today. Can you believe it? It's all said and done. Already goes by way too quick when we're having too much fun. 721-8255-721-TALK. Merry Christmas to you. And as you're wrapping up your holiday, as you're getting ready for the holiday at least, as you're wrapping up your work week, you got to start it off the right way. Brought to you by the Inman Harvest Cafe. It's Fried Chicken Friday. Fried Chicken Friday for a Christmas holiday. They got the buffet today from 11 to 1. They got the big buffet tonight from 5 to 8 o'clock. You're not going to want to miss it. Katie's online with us. Katie, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Andy. Happy Fried Chicken Friday. You sound a little better than the last time I talked to you.
A little bit. It's at least a little stable, so it's not completely break. Well, then I do that. So it's getting there, little by little. That's all right.
Hey, you know what's really good for when your throat's all sticky and sore and you have to talk anyway?
What's that?
It's you need some good home comfort food, homemade, down home. You need chicken pot pie.
Chicken pot pie. That right there. That's what we need right there. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's like a thicker, heartier version of chicken noodle soup, right?
Oh,
because
absolutely.
Everybody knows that chicken noodle soup makes you feel better. This is going to make you feel even more better, and then it's going to put you to sleep. So
exactly.
it's going to because you need more rest than I think what you're getting. So
sometimes, but that's all right. I mean, you get the nice hearty meal, you get the nice, the feel good. You get to start off because come on, we're also trying to expand the waistline just a little bit to get prepared for Christmas Day. So it's the perfect time today to be able to go to the buffet. It's open from 11 to 1 for the lunchtime. It's open from 5 to 8 o'clock tonight, and you have the pot pies, you have the fried chicken, you have some wonderful, delicious, hearty meals for a really cold day like today.
Yeah, today we're going to have lasagna because that's my favorite Christmas tradition. Well, one of them anyway. My real favorite Christmas tradition is reading the Bible story out of Luke chapter 2. So that's my favorite. But my favorite Christmas food is lasagna.
Yes, that's perfect.
So that's what we're going to have. Yeah, we're going to have lasagna. We're going to have the chicken pot pie, and then This evening we'll have our Christmas ham dinner with the sweet potatoes and the other stuff that goes with that, plus lasagna. So I'm excited because lasagna. And then we, of course, will have our famous roast beef and our chicken. And then if you come from 5 to 8, the buffet comes with pie.
Absolutely.
And you have to get it. You have to get your perfect slice while it's still available in the pie case. So today we've got coconut, chocolate, pumpkin, custard, caramel apple, rhubarb, and cherry cream cheese. Plus, if we decide to whip up something extra special in between now and then it'll be a surprise when you get here.
It'll be a nice little surprise. Well, you kind of have all the bases covered with all the kinds of meats, all the kinds of heartiness with the chicken and the pot pies and the roast beef and the lasagna, and then, of course, with all the pies. So you really can't go wrong starting off your weekend with a buffet over at the Inman Harvest Cafe today.
That's right. You can't go wrong. It's a great value. It's a pretty drive from Wichita. It's really worth just coming down here and check it out.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. It's today. It's the Inman Harvest Cafe Fried Chicken Friday, 112 South Main Street, right in downtown Inman. Really easy to find. It's absolutely a blast and a great way to kick it off. 620-585-6925, 620-585-6925, or InmanHarvestCafe.com. Katie, Merry Christmas to you guys. We love working with you so much. We love having you on the air. We love that you guys are doing this, and we look forward to chatting with you again next week.
All right. Merry Christmas, Andy. We'll talk to you later.
Very good. Merry Christmas, Katie. There. That's the Inman Harvest Cafe, proud sponsors right here, and we love working with them on The Voice of Reason. That's it. It wraps up the show today. I cannot believe it's already said and done. Everybody, if you're traveling outside of town and going to visit family and friends, be safe, be careful. I had some more audio bits that we did not get to today. We may throw a few in on New Year's, which, by the way, the New Year's show, as usual, is an absolute blast because, well, we simulcast the sports station with ours. Both of those hosts coming in here next Friday and having a little fun with me on Friday next week. We're going to broadcast it on both stations, and it's a blast for our New Year's special. Next Friday, we may play some of those audio bits again or some of the ones that we didn't get to today. But everybody, Merry Christmas to you from the deepest part of me, from my heart to yours. Merry Christmas. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Be warm. Enjoy the family and the friends and the food and everything that goes along with it. We'll have Christmas music on Monday. We'll be back live on Tuesday morning. This is your show. It's time to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Maybe I'll have my voice back again on Tuesday. This is The Voice of Reason on KQAM. Merry Christmas.